National Electrical Code Section 210.63 pertains to receptacle outlets for heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration, or HVACR equipment. The section mandates the installation of a 15 or 20 amp single-phase, 125 volts receptacle outlet at an accessible location for servicing HVACR equipment. This requirement applies to equipment located on rooftops, in attics, and in crawl spaces. A significant update to this section expands the requirement for a receptacle outlet to all occupancies, including 1 and 2 family dwellings. Previously, the rule primarily focused on rooftops. Now, it encompasses attics and crawl spaces as well, irrespective of the type of occupancy. This change aims to provide safer and more convenient access to power for servicing HVACR equipment in a broader range of buildings. The 2023 update coordinates with mechanical codes by removing the phrase on rooftops and in attics and crawl spaces, making the code more universal for HVACR servicing. The receptacle outlet must be located within 25 feet of the HVACR equipment and on the same level. This proximity ensures that technicians can easily access a power source for tools and testing equipment without needing long extension cords, improving safety and efficiency. The code explicitly states that the receptacle outlet should not be connected to the load side of the equipment disconnecting means. This provision ensures that the receptacle remains powered even when the HVACR equipment is disconnected for servicing, providing a reliable power source for diagnostic and repair work. It's important to note that this rule does not apply to ventilating equipment. The focus of Section 210.63 is specifically on HVACR equipment that involves heating, cooling, and refrigeration processes. The 15 or 20 amp single-phase, 125 volts receptacle outlet required for dwelling units, as specified in Section 210.52. It can be used to satisfy the HVACR equipment receptacle requirement under Section 210.63, but only if it is located within 25 feet of the equipment. This allows for flexibility in installation, reducing the need for multiple receptacles if an existing one meets the distance and accessibility criteria. When the receptacle outlet is located outdoors, it must have ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection, as per Section 210.8 A3. Additionally, if the receptacle outlet is located in crawl spaces at or below grade, it also requires GFCI protection as per Section 210.8 A4. GFCI protection is essential in these locations to protect against electrical shock hazards in damp or wet environments. In summary, Section 210.63 of the NEC requires a readily accessible 15 or 20 amp single-phase, 125 volts receptacle outlet for servicing HVACR equipment in various locations, including rooftops, attics, and crawl spaces across all types of occupancies. The receptacle outlet must be within 25 feet of the equipment, not connected to the load side of the disconnecting means, and GFCI protected if located outdoors or in crawl spaces at or below grade. This rule aims to enhance safety and convenience for HVACR technicians during servicing and maintenance activities. Consider a scenario where an HVACR unit is installed on the roof of a commercial building. According to Section 210.63, a 15 or 20 amp, 125 volts receptacle outlet must be located within 25 feet of the unit. This receptacle cannot be connected to the load side of the disconnecting means for the HVACR unit, ensuring that it remains powered even when the unit is disconnected. This setup allows a technician to plug in their diagnostic tools or equipment without having to run extension cords from another location. Alternatively, in a residential setting with an HVACR unit in the attic, the same requirements apply. A receptacle outlet must be installed within 25 feet of the unit to facilitate servicing. If this receptacle is the same one required for general use in dwelling units under Section 210.52, and is within the specified distance, it can serve both purposes. However, if the attic location is damp, the receptacle must have GFCI protection to ensure safety. In crawl spaces, especially those at or below grade, the NEC mandates GFCI protection for receptacle outlets serving HVACR equipment. This is because crawl spaces are often damp and can present a higher risk of electrical shock. The GFCI protection quickly cuts off power in the event of a ground fault, minimizing the risk of injury. For example, consider an HVACR system located in a crawl space of a house. The technician working on the system needs a reliable power source for their tools. The receptacle outlet, installed within 25 feet of the equipment, provides this power source. Because the crawl space is damp, the receptacle must be GFCI protected. If a fault occurs, the GFCI will trip, preventing a potentially dangerous electrical shock. To reiterate, firstly, NEC section 210.63 requires a 15 or 20 amp, 125 volts receptacle outlet for servicing HVACR equipment. Secondly, this receptacle must be accessible and located within 25 feet of the equipment. Thirdly, the receptacle should not be connected to the lid side of the equipment, disconnecting means. Fourthly, GFCI protection is required for outdoor receptacles and those in crawl spaces that are below grade. Fifthly, the rule applies to all occupancies, including 1 and 2 family dwellings. Sixthly, the rule does not apply to ventilating equipment. These provisions ensure that technicians have a safer and convenient power source for maintaining HVACR systems.